Hello warriors, this is Miss Lemons, and today we are going to be going over calculations using the mole. Before you get started, make sure you have a calculator, a pencil, and the mole concept packet, which should be in your practice packet. This video is covering question number 7 on this packet. I've already created a video for question number 1, so if you need help on going from grams to moles, please watch that video first, and then you can watch this one. So let's look at number 7. Number 7 is asking us to determine the number of grams of aluminum in 2.5 moles of aluminum. So you'll see that I've already started the dimensional analysis sucks by putting the start, which is 2.5 moles of aluminum, and our unknown, which is grams of aluminum. We're trying to look for grams of aluminum. So we now need to determine our conversion factor. Our conversion factor, we only get to choose from one of these two conversion factors, the molar mass or Avogadro's number. So we know that we're going from moles to grams. We want our conversion factor to also have moles and grams. Molar mass contains moles and grams. But notice that this conversion factor has a number symbol here, and that's because we have to fill in the blank. We have to determine the number that goes there. So the number is coming from our periodic table. So if you look at your periodic table, we want to look at aluminum. Aluminum is element number 13, and the value we are going to be using is that molar mass on the bottom. That's 26.98. So our conversion factor will then be 1 mole of aluminum is equal to 26.98 grams of aluminum. Notice too that I replaced the X here with aluminum symbol. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and set up and solve our last portion. We are always going to start with what we know over 1. We know that we have 2.50 moles of aluminum. And we know that we're going to be moving that, we know that we're going to be multiplying this by a conversion factor. So what's on top must come down. That means we need to have moles of aluminum on the bottom. But how many moles of aluminum? Well, let's look at your conversion factor. 1 mole of aluminum is what we need to use because the other side is in grams and we need moles of aluminum. So 1 mole of aluminum on the bottom. And I know that this is right because moles of aluminum on top will cancel with moles of aluminum on the bottom. We do need to fill the top half though, so we're going to use the other half of our conversion factor, which is 26.98 grams of aluminum. You are then going to multiply your numerators together, multiply your denominators together, and then divide the top and bottom to get your final answer, which is 67.45, and that's going to be grams of aluminum. 1 times 1 is 1. Anything divided by 1 is itself. So we've got 67.45 grams of aluminum. But again, remember we want to round according to the rules of sig figs, so we always want to look at what we started with. We started with 2.50, which has 3 sig figs. That trailing zero is significant. We wrote that there. That is our estimation. So we want our final answer to also have 3 sig figs. Underline your top 3 placeholders and multiply, and then round up or down. Because this is a 5, we want to round up. So your final answer will be 67.5 grams of aluminum.